So these people appear in hotspots all the way around the world, and that's where the story of the book starts really sort of gathering traction. Because I would go to Central America, to Yucatan, hang out with the Maya who was still around.
Yeah.
My good friend, the wisdom keeper, Miguel Angel Vergara, who is a library, a walking library. And we spent a lot of time together doing tours, so we have a lot of free time to hang out. We basically, I just asked him all these questions. Says, "Oh yes, the people that came from Atlantis, but that's not what they called it back then. That's what the Greeks called it."
Right.
So what do you know? I'm tracking a missing people before the Maya, I believe. Yeah, our predecessors came from a sunken island in the middle of the Atlantic called Atoll, and they were called the Its. They didn't really believe in vowels back then. There were a lot of consonants in the names. And then they became Atitlan to the Olmec and the Aztec. And of course that becomes Atlantis to the Greeks. And the Chilam Balam gives you an exact date of their arrival, 9600 BC, which is exactly the same date that the priests in Egypt tell Solon, the Greek scholar, when he's visiting the priest of Sais in Egypt, takes the story back to Greece, tells it to his son. He tells it to Plato. Plato mythologizes the story as a conversation between two statesmen. So that's the connection. And the other point of contact is that the Its, who moved through Yucatan, they rebuild the images, they rebuild these cities and the images of the temples that they had lost. Very bittersweet story. And they call one of them Chichen Itza in their name. They eventually end up in Guatemala. We have Tikal, Uxmal. All of these were the original temple cities of the gods that are now sunk. And what we see today at the outer layer of the onion, the original buildings are actually inside. There are 5 pyramids inside each one of these temples. They basically went as far away from the ocean as they possibly could get away from. And they were called the people of the serpent. That was their kind of a name of office, a badge of office, if you like. Had nothing to do with snakes. It also was a metaphor for the fact that it knew how to manipulate the Earth's energy lines. That's the usual metaphor for the serpent. But the same story, the same people appears on the other side of the Atlantic after Atoll sinks, which is the Ophusa in Portugal, where I was born. Literally in the mountain at the foot of where I was born. I'm not kidding you.
Wow.
Here I am, 6'5". I was blonde when I was young, believe it or not. It makes me wonder what my part in this is sometimes, because I also don't look Portuguese. They were called the Ophusa, literally means the people of the serpent. Well, that also appears in the Lords of Anu, the Anunnaki. They were called the serpent people as well. It was the badge of office. And some of them are actually shown in figurines, human bodies with little serpent or lizard heads, which sets off all kinds of conspiracy theories about genetic manipulation. No, it's like saying that the Egyptian god of wisdom, Thoth, was also a genetic manipulation of a human body with the head of a bird.
Right.
No, they used this anthropomorphic device to show ignorant people that this god was to do with wisdom, because look at how elegant he is. He's got the book, and he's got the pen, and he's got the ibis head. It's just taking a piece of nature and saying, he has the ibis head because the ibis is an elegant bird. Wisdom will make you elegant, like Horus having the head of a hawk, because he can see from above what's going on down below. He sees the big picture. So they don't understand that symbology, so you get to the conspiracy theory of ancient aliens and all this other stuff which bears no resemblance to reality.
What